All right, so we did our 1-point perspective project. Now we're gonna do 2-point perspective boxes. So as we said last time, the first thing you gotta do with this is find your horizon line, which is that line that goes right across the middle of the page. It's that line that when you look over the ocean, it's where the sky meets the sea. I think Moana said it best. So what we're gonna do is I have my piece of plywood again, and we're gonna try to find the center of the page. It doesn't have to be perfect, do your best. It's a lot easier for you guys because you're gonna be doing this notability on your iPad. So please don't judge me as I'm trying to find the center of the page. Let's just hope this is right. And we're gonna go straight across the center of the page. And that's a little off, but it's fine. So what we're gonna do now, I think this one is a little bit easier. We're gonna draw a couple more lines. It doesn't have to be as exact, but as long as you follow along step by step, it'll be good. So what we do is we have to draw 3 sets of lines. All right, we're gonna draw the center one first. So try as close to the middle. I say line up, usually like right around here is the best bet. Up here, you try to line up around there. Doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle, but you want it to be as close as possible. And it's not gonna be a big line. It's gonna be probably that big. Now you have to make one in the bottom corner, one in the top left corner. You don't want it to be flush up against the wall or the side of the page. You also don't want it to be too close in, and you don't want it to go too close to the top or too close to the middle of the page. So something like that should be fine. And I'll do the same thing over here. Once again, not too close to the edge of the page, not too close to the bottom, and not too close to the top. All right, easy. So what we did with 1-point perspective, we had those 3 spots on the top square and on the bottom square, and those 2 spots on the middle square. They have to go to both points of perspective. Now the difference is, instead of 1 point, we have 2 points on either edge of the paper. So that means the depth of the squares that we're going to draw are going to go not only to the right, but also to the left. Whereas for 1 point, it just went to the middle of the page. It went to 1 point, to 1 spot. Hence 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective. So from each of these points that I'm making, you have to go to both points of perspective from each of the dots. So if I said how many lines we're going to draw right now, nobody's going to raise their hand. And I'm going to say, all right, well, it's 2 from here. So it's 2, 2 from here, it's 4, 2 from here, 6, 2 from here, 8, 2, and 2. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 sets of lines. And let's do it. All right. So that's 1 line. That's another line. I'll do all the ones on the left first. It's another line. And another line. And another line. And another line. So everything went to the left point of perspective. Now we got to do the same thing, but everything going to the right point of perspective. So we'll go across that way, and then across that way, and the same thing here. We go across that way, and across that way, and then these ones have to come up as well, here and here. All right, and then we have that. Now I drew mine pretty close to the side. You can put yours out a little bit further on the top and on the top and on the bottom, so that your lines aren't as on top of each other as mine are. But this is fine if it looks like this. Now we're pretty much done, right? It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more lines, and then going to more points of perspective, then some erasing. So what we're going to do is we'll start with the bottom square. It's a straight line up, straight line. Remember, since it's not going to point of perspective, it's perfectly straight. So it goes straight up to there. And one a little too high, so we'll erase it. And then over here, it's the same thing. So it's another straight line up, a straight line connecting those. So as you can see, I have a straight line here and a straight line there. Now what's going to happen is from the top of the two straight lines that I drew, I'm going to the opposite points of perspective. So the line I drew on the right is going to the left. The line I drew on the left is going to the right. So what I like to do, so it's less erasing, is do the one on the left all the way up to the point of perspective. Then I line up my right line with the left point of perspective, and I stop it, exactly where it overlaps, where it meets, right there. So instead of drawing all the way over with this line, I stop it right where it catches that one. Now what you can do is erase all of that and all of that. And that's our first box. All right, 1 point perspective. So all of the lines that are slanted, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines are all going to the different points of perspective. The ones that are straight are perfectly straight. All right, so now we're gonna do the one up here, the top corner. Same thing, straight line down. We'll make this guy a little bit longer, we'll say. So making sure our straight edge is straight, or you guys are notability. So a straight line right there, and then I have to make a straight line over here. So I have one straight line, two straight line. I remember from here and here, we go to the opposite points of perspective, which are our dots on the end. So I will do this one first. I'll do this one first. Go right there. And the trick we did with this one down here, we're going to do again up here. So I'll line it up again. Line it up again, line it up. And instead of going all the way there, we will stop it at the line that we just drew. And we have our next box. So you can go ahead and erase all of those lines. Be careful not to erase the lines from the center. That's our second box. Now we have two boxes going to the same or to two different points of perspective. Now all that's left is the middle one. The middle one's always going to be the easiest. It's just going to be two straight lines and a lot of erasing. So we'll do a straight line here. And then maybe we'll make it longer and do a straight line over here. We have our two straight lines. Erase to the left and to the right. Erase what's in the middle. And then erase what's to the right. And we have our 2-point perspective project. All right, so we did 1 point room, 1 point box, 2 point box, and we will go from there. Any questions, once again, please reach out and ask myself, Ms. Fanassi or Mrs. Rodney, and talk to you guys soon.